can't be. When all those dark clouds are far behind you, will you choose the path that helps the blind to see? If there's one thing I have learned from living on this earth, life is truly precious from the moment of our birth. There are lessons at the top and lessons down below, but the hardest thing for me was letting go. Have you taken any time to look and see, to know that I am you and you are me? Have you heard your neighbor's cries or suffering, or seen the face of God in humanity? If there's one thing I have learned from living on this earth, life is truly precious from the moment of our birth. There are lessons at the top and lessons down below, but the hardest thing for me was letting go. If you stay away and hide too long, you'll miss the message of this song. Healing comes when you embrace the simple truth of amazing grace. Have you taken any time to look and see, to know that I am you and you are me? Have you heard your neighbor's cries or suffering, or seen the face of God in humanity? If there's one thing I have learned from living on this earth, life is truly precious from the moment of our birth. There are lessons at the top and lessons down below, but the hardest thing for me was letting go. If there's one thing I have learned from living on this earth, life is truly precious from the moment of our birth. There are lessons at the top and lessons down below, but the hardest thing for me was letting go. How's the weather up there on that mountain, baby?
It seems like it's tough to bring together, but I think Shelly Morningsong is like the perfect almost mix, because she doesn't use her Native American culture as a selling point, because it is who she is. She uses it not as a spectacle, but as something that she cannot run away from, something that she is so, I guess, it's just so deeply rooted into her that that's what comes out. Because, you know, when we get in the spotlight and we produce art, what is typically inside of us is what is projected. This is what I personally saw with her. She has a deep Christian faith. She talks about, she has a few gospel tracks that I really enjoyed. She talks about Jesus a lot. I enjoyed that. And then hearing her talk about her aspects of we're all one, we have all this healing in us, nature is here for us, we can do all these different things in nature, life is a circle. These are all Native American worldview traditions that I saw. And I saw them repeated so many times over in the tracks, but mixed with the emphasis of Jesus as the top. So going back to her husband, when I stated about her husband being 100% Omaha tribesman, that is something that he brought up in an interview that I saw, I think, with like the morning show for Arizona or Nevada, whichever one they're living in currently. And he had so much pride talking about that. It was so cool to see him express his culture and express his values to a bunch of people who potentially have never been exposed to that and only know one side of the story of America. and I thought that was really cool just to see him and his pride in his culture. So what a main thing of her relating with her Native American culture is through her husband, because he is the one who does a lot of the mixing and songwriting with her. He also plays the instruments and the flute as well, and a few other guitars and basses on her tracks. And he dresses up in American traditional garb, as well as her, but he will dance alongside her while they're on stage. So he is a huge piece of her live performances. He is a huge piece of her production aspect, and he is also playing into what content goes into her songs. So when she's presenting these things to people and telling them, hey, I'm Native American, a lot of it is from him, and a lot of the traditions that he has, she has as well. So the songwriting is more of a joint duo than two isolated pieces. And I saw how these played with each other just from hearing the instruments on the tracks, being traditional flute, and then the skin drum, which he'll play, and he also has some rattles on his legs sometimes. And I could see that in their live performances. So this was super interesting for me to hear along the whole album. And I love just how she mixes it with kind of country, bluegrass, folk, and jazz and R&B styles, which are all very American styles of music. And I love that amalgamation, but she still stays true to her Native American heritage and roots. So yeah, I really enjoy this album. I feel like it touched on a lot of points that I said in my paper, and she really was an interesting person to listen to, and she was an interesting person to write about. Thank you.